Уважаемые коллеги, всем добрый день. Как ваши дела? Вы чувствуете себя в полной безопасности, да? Мы сейчас находимся на конференции. Я вот прямо ощущаю себя в полной безопасности. Меня зовут Александр Парамонов.
Alexander Paramonov, and I can only say that our presentation for the next 20 minutes will change the life of those who stay to the better, and they will feel more secure.
Хотя я являюсь представителем компании Mond.
So I represent Mond, a distributor of software. For us, for the entire IT market, distribution is important. An important component who understands where the market is moving. In the last few years, we raised our revenues only in the security area alone. And in this area, if we look at our regional network, it's very large. It includes not only Russia, but CIS and Mongolia. And in 2022, we not only deliver positive technology solutions, we are experts. We help our partners to promote such systems, and we help our customers. We train our customers, which is very important. What does the customer need to buy a certain product? He must understand the product. So we offer not only a demonstration, we understand training, installation, deployment, and maintaining. There are two factors of training. You can train a person in software, product as such, and the second point that we miss often when you come to a financial director, start talking at a conference, nice technology, it will protect us against. What does the financial director say? Expensive. He doesn't understand how expensive it is. It's important for him to say expensive, for you to see whether you can buy it cheaper. And second, we have no budget, no money. Extreme. So the financial director understands where he can spend the money and where he cannot spend it. For example, if he spends it on an additional shop, he understands how much more revenue he will get from that shop. So we do master classes for our customers to protect their ideas in the language of business. This is our competitive edge. Demonstration resources are focused not only on demonstrating the product, but on protecting that product with the financial director. If the financial director gives you the money, then he comes to you and says, I gave you 30 million. When are you going to give it back? I said, well, I spent the money on positive technologies. So we train the people to work with software and prove the efficiency of that product. Marketing, of course, in 2003, for you to buy a solution, how many times would you like to touch the customer? 2003. 3 times. You call him, you show him a booklet, you bring something to touch, he says, well, yes, why not, bring us, we're going to buy it. In 2013, we need 15 approaches, and any call of your salesperson generates losses if the customer says, I'm going to buy. So now marketing is about automation. A person from 25 to 45 earning more than 300,000, no. The approach should be focused. For example, you take a company, X5 Retail Group. I need a security director. And all our marketing should touch him. If they don't touch him, you don't work. Your approach doesn't work. We help our customers to package our solution in such a way so that they touch the people who are really decision makers, and our customers like it.
Давайте, собственно,
Let's now talk about what are the most important things that you need to bear in mind in order to protect your projects. It's clear that the market is growing now, considering the shortage of personnel, of employees, people who can do something and brains that can think of something. It's also important to note that business wants to see more and more analytics, intelligence. They understand more and more that IT is taking more and more of their budget, but then they want to understand if it's worthwhile. How can you prove that you're worth my money? What happens if I don't give you money? Well, frankly, a relationship like this is not something you would wish to be involved in. Imagine you meet a beautiful woman. She's full enough to marry you, and once she understands that you're not the guy she really wanted, she starts extorting things from you. A pair of shoes, a new bag, same things in business. If a person from security or from IT comes to me only to scare me, it means I'm not happy talking to them. I'll be pushing them back or down using the so-called business partners. Friends, who has business partners in your companies? I mean, IT business partner. Well, don't be modest, don't be shy. So it's better to raise your hand to understand that you're communicating. Well, friends, your game is over. Why is business involving business partners to this conversation? Because they don't want to talk in technology terms. They bring in business partners to translate. But if the project succeeds, who's done the great job? Business partner. And if it's a failure, then the person responsible. It's not enough that this stratum becomes a political killer for us, but it's also a problem with funding. So if there's a need to take up a business partner, you better involve them with your division so that you should talk with them. So taking a look at any company, basically there are only two vectors to choose from to focus. First, to earn more money, just to expand the funnel by attracting or capturing more customers. And the second vector is to bring down the cost of every operation, bring down the cost of every transaction. And here, it's very important to understand that if you're closer to the first part, that meaning you'll find words that will persuade the chairman of the board that you indeed bring the money, then your career path is going to go up. If you are going to shrink correctly, it'll also be stable. You'll be the best person in the team. You'll have the best professionals, people spending 25 years of their life in the job. I mean, both ways are good. But you have to clearly understand what this decision, what this solution helps us do. And now let's take a look at the classic chain in any company. As an example, we'll first start with a commercial company, but then we can look at the government organization. Which business process is number one in any company? So hurry up. Number one, business process. Sales, number one. So you come and you start selling. No, this doesn't work. The first thing, manufacturing. Well, you can actually manufacture everything, but nobody will need that. So what is that? It's back in the USSR. So business plan. So basically it's marketing, right? Analyzing the market, understanding how much the market can take from you, what it wants. So you planned. Second part. Alexander, tell us. Second part is procurement. So you need to provide for the operation of the company. Of course, it includes people and services and production. Well, the third part is production, and the fourth is sales. Sales is the fourth. So this way, if you take a look at the entire chain, there are always these four elements. If you are looking at where to find the budget, as how to prove the value of a solution in the market. So you go And first, try to understand who is the most important function for the first dialogue of these four. Let's take a look at the vertical, financial vertical. Now, what's of interest for the owners of the company in terms of financial outcome? What's of interest to them? Profit? No, wrong. Wrong. The owner can be interested in profit, but the owner is always considering the effect of the company based on how much money they have in their pocket, and that's dividend. The owner does their work themselves? Well, in most cases, don't. The first order, what is to appoint the CEO. So the CEO with his friends, what are they responsible for in financial terms? Yes, it's there where they have profit and loss. There we have these financial indicators. So these guys, do they work themselves? Well, they can't not work. Well, actually, they do work, except that we don't know what they're doing. Of course, these people work. Top management develops the business strategy, but then these people appoint a specific mid-level management, financial indicator. What are these people responsible for? What are they interested in terms of financial indicators? Accounting. Is accounting responsible for profits? Is it you who are responsible for profits as security officers? No, guys, it's KPI for the budget. Look. Attention, you have a certain business indicator for the budget, and that's what's of interest to you. So the accounting requires bonuses because they have issued or submitted all the reports in time. And for the workers and people who do specific work, it's the salary. So when you come to some expert, if you have a tender committee, for instance, you have to understand clearly what's of interest for these people. What financial indicator are you going to push in order for them to agree? So what I was saying, positive technology is okay, let's do it. You have to clearly understand what it leads to. And then a very important question arises, and what is business continuity all about? Well, why are you silent? The time is running. Hey, guys, business continuity is... Oh, look, we are experts in security. So business continuity is the continuity of pure cash flow into the pocket of the owner of the business. This is what defines everything. But then it spreads to each function. And you have to clearly understand that if you take a look at the business process in the company, you can always say that there are business processes, the stoppage of which will lead to complete stop of business, and that's mission critical. And there, of course, they'll give us budgets to protect these business processes. There are business processes that are called business critical. Well, these business processes are the stoppage of which will lead to a reduction of revenues. And there's everything else. So when you paint your systems and monitoring in different colors, you do it not the way you like it, but considering how easy it will be for the CEO to understand it. Because defending a report is very easy. Over the past month, the number of attacks on our infrastructure, the production control systems, was 1,050. All these attacks were rebuffed by the excellent solution from Positive Technologies. Had these attacks been successful, it would have lost 16 hours of the work of the production, which means 16 tons times the time. And you have to clearly understand that this report will be read not by yourself, but the management who has paid the money to fund these solutions succeed. Red are the mission critical thing, yellow are business critical, and green are all the rest. For green and yellow, you can claim the right budget if you use the right language to talk to the management. And here we arrive at the following point. Hey guys, tell me please, which schematic is going to look more attractive, more persuasive, the left one or the right one?
Ну как?
Well, for who? For a decision-making person, the one who makes a decision to fund cool solutions. So the solution where business can be seen, because once again, a chairman of the board told me one important thing. Alexander, if I understand what you have in the right picture, I don't need you. I'll fire you. You are here for me and not to try and understand it. And this is what I'm responsible for, and that's of interest to me. So therefore, if you're defending a project, always look at this thing to be understandable for business. The pictures should be drawn in the style that's understandable for the business. And here, we need business partners. It's for this that we need them. It's them who are writing these schematics. It's them who are bringing the proof of how great we are to the top. And it's natural that the first thing to do to protect a good project is not to say, give me money to do this project. You need to offer cases. Let's say, in the company next door, a serious disruption happened, so they lost $100 million, poor things. Why? Because they didn't have a positive technology sandbox solution. And this is the solution that collects the information about viruses, about our company, to run them in a sandbox, and then we'll be able to defend ourselves from them much better. So a case is always perceived better by a person. He'll be always able to find words that even your kid would understand. Of course, the maximum cost concept is important. I told you, how does the business perceive the cost of a solution that can cover the problem? 10%? 10% of the output. That's an ideal situation. Well, maybe you can drag it to 15. So if you understand the cost of risk, you can clearly define for business that we are protecting this part. This is the cost. We are keeping that cost that will allow us to continue business, for the business to continue. And of course, when talking to business, we are using the language that is typical of a decision-making person. You need to have clear arguments and proof. And once you've got the money, start bringing reports to the management at the end of the first month. See how good we are. You know how many attacks happened, and we hadn't even know about them happening, and we managed to stop them. That's an important point. It's an important moment. The management starts talking to you, starts seeing you, starts consulting you, and you're becoming a very important point. And here is a point that we always mention in our trainings. Every person has a way, a different way to achieve. Some people need to see a picture, others, there's this whole brain model, which shows that people think differently. Some people see the yellow quadrant. It's people who are most interested in trends. The trends, like, for instance, in the development of their own business, and positive technologies is an innovative product, and they will be looking at your presentations from the viewpoint of whether the solution is cool or not. The blue ones, the blue segment, the letter A, these are the so-called strategists. These people, they usually like CFO, CA, commercial director. For them, you need to use graphs, diagrams, and pictures to prove. So compare this solution with that solution. The flowchart looks like this. It's the language that they perceive. If you need to come to an engineering department that resists your solution strongly, or if you need to talk to an accountant who has a considerable weight in on the board, then you need to do incremental paces. It's been implemented this way, and that way the implementation takes 5 days. You need 2 people. So people, even in a presentation, go through the whole process of implementation. And this becomes a basis, foundation to prove them that your solution makes sense. There are other people, HR people, salespeople. They need a cool picture. When you go to conferences, you often see presentations like success stories. A guy from a certain bank comes up on stage and starts telling how it works. It's a certain psychology, but it's a psychology that adds better vis-a-vis marketing people and salespeople. Why don't we always get impressed by this? Because we think at the language of the blue and the green pictures here, colors here. But please understand that there are people of other type. Working in the bank, I couldn't defend a solution until I understood that my leader is yellow. And I came to him and said, Sergey, the project is just cool stuff. It's number one in the market. It'll be cool. He said, you promise? I said, promise. Go do it, he said. And that was the briefest meeting in half a year, because I started to use his own language, even though myself, as a head of IT, was much greener. So, in conclusion of my presentation, I'd like to say that we, as a distributor, have prepared the games, all these business games, to bring them through the team. If you're partners, we invite partners on to the second part. We'll be considering about the same aspect as now in PhD, but as applied to a specific customer, we'll do attacks and defense in different industries, and we'll help the partner to explain it to the customer. For us, it's always a game situation. 3, 4, 5 times you run the catalog through your head, and then it becomes easier for you to go to the customer. If it's a masterclass for customers, we help people to defend the budgets, to correctly scale and size, to match it to the business processes that are operating your company, and play it this way. So this is how the process looks. It takes a whole day. We run a business game where we focus on different aspects of solution defense, including legislative components, and of course we have ambassadors, the guys who lead these efforts. It's not like 2 people as the distributor has. We have a large team. All guys here are very much alive, so these are not fake pictures. These are real people working in our team. So my time is up. I have many thanks to you for your attention, and I'm hoping that it's been valuable for you. You're welcome to take training from us.